Hi, this is G-Mac for the Razor Company, and today's shave is going to be a very special one. First, let me wish you and your families a super 2025 filled with good health, cheer, a lot of peace. We need so much of that in the world today, and of course, success. Today's shave, of course, the main star of the show is going to be American Vintage. This is a collaboration between the Razor Company and MacDuff's soap company of Canada. It's one of my absolute favorites. We'll talk a little bit about that soap in just a minute. The razor for today is going to be the Yaqi DC90 Titanium, and was waiting forever to get this one. It's got a cross-grain pattern handle, about 88 millimeters as far as the height of the handle is concerned, and it's 12 millimeters. That's the diameter. The reason why it's called, of course, DC is there's a closed comb on one side, and on the other side it's got an open comb. Looks menacing? Let's find out. I've got a feather blade in there, feather stainless, and the reason why I've done that is because it's supposed to be a fairly smooth and mild razor. So let's see how this performs and if it can tame the feather. The total weight of this razor is 59 grams, and it's stunning. I absolutely love the look of it. You know, a lot of shavers will tell you that this design is copied, or that, you know, it's a clone of another. Every razor is a clone of another. Whether you look at the Gibbs being cloned, the Gillette's being cloned, this is not. It's quite a unique razor. It has a unique design to it. You know, and I don't think razors are clones of other razors. I think they're modifications. I think they're improvements. I think they offer a different shave quality, and that's what we'll find out today. For the aftershave, I'm going to be using the Nivea Men Deep Comforting Aftershave, which has vanilla and bourbon in it. Not too much of vanilla inside it, and you really can't get the bourbon, but it's a lovely, it's almost got like a slightly tea kind of finish to it, like a black tea, Assam or Darjeeling tea kind of finish to it. But I love it, absolutely love this aftershave. It's light, doesn't interfere with the fragrance of the soap. And I've got my bowl, this is of course from a friend of mine who runs a company called Anise Products. So I've got the lather already started in there, as you can see. And for the brush today, I'm going to be using the Razorock BC Silvertip. Let's get that right. Supposed to be softer than the Plissoft fibers. Actually, it isn't, but it's more dense. And if you want to get one of these, you can get them at the Razor Company. They are absolutely, you know, top value for money. In my opinion, probably the best value for money you can buy are the Razorock brushes. Get the Plissoft, any of them. Monster, Big Bruce. Big Bruce is one of my favorites. You can get, you know, the metal handle BC Silvertip with you know, the Razor Company. Probably want to pick that up. Real value, and I love using these brushes. So let's get straight down to the soap itself. MacDuff's soap company was started, of course, in Canada in 2017. I'll tell you a little bit about them as we go along. But this soap was supposed to be a tribute to guitars, and there's a reason for it. If you look at the top of the cover, there's a Fender Stratocaster sitting, you know, leaning on a Fender Twin Reverb, which is the iconic amp. And then, of course, there's a mic. In those days, you know, amplifiers used to be mic'd up. So there's a mic stand bending down. There's a mic right behind American Vintage. You can't see it unless you look at it very closely. I love this. I love this cover. I absolutely love this cover because I was part of a, you know, gig band, small-time gig band, and every time, you know, we used to finish a rehearsal and walk away. This is the kind of scene that we would see just before we left to go home, before the last light was put out. Or this is pretty much a scene from when the musicians leave the stage after a gig at a late night bar or a pub. I'm not a big fan of the Stratocaster, although I love the guys who play them. Everybody from, you know, Eric Clapton to David Gilmour, Hank Marvin, Jimi Hendrix. He played that special, you know, special Stratocaster that was custom made. But I'm a Fender Telecaster fan. I've always been, and that's because of blues and country. So this of course still reminds me. It reminds me of those bars where you can hear Southern rock, classic rock, blues. And let's get down to the fragrance. So the fragrance is supposed to be one that kind of presents or takes you to that atmosphere inside a pub where you can smell, you know, the wood of the guitars probably a little bit. You can get the the subtle tobacco in the air, and of course you can get the smell of leather probably from the guitarist's strap, and that's what it's supposed to do. Scent notes are supposed to be tobacco, of course, which is the forward note. Mahogany, which is used to build guitars. My solid acoustic guitar has a mahogany side and back, and then the fretboard, which is supposed to be rosewood, that scent note is supposed to be in here. And most guitars do have a rosewood fretboard. It's that dark brown one. If it's white and matches the white back of the neck, then it's probably maple. So all those notes are actually in here. I've used the soap many times and I can't put it down. So to put it very simply, tobacco, subtle tobacco forward, very woodsy, and that's thanks to the mahogany, the rosewood, and the hoe wood, and that leather note, which is supposed to be reminiscent of a guitarist's strap, because after guitarists use leather straps over a period of time, maybe 6 months to a year, it has a certain kind of smell to it. It's not unpleasant. It's not like a saddle, or it's not like an old belt, but it's a different kind of a smell to it. Kind of masculine, a bit macho. This is a great soap, so I'm just very eager to use it. Let me tell you a little bit now. Besides the scent notes, I call this a banger of a scent. This is really, really fantastic. As far as the ingredients are concerned, unrefined shea butter, goat's milk, green tea extract, silk, aloe barbadensis, which is, according to me, aloe vera, hydrolyzed oat protein, organic oils of argan, jojoba, pumpkin seed, and camellia, and paraben-free essential oils in there. The good thing about MacDuffs is, and something that we've, they kind of fly under the radar sometimes, they're absolutely top-level soap. So let's get down to lathering straight away. I have, of course, as I said, started, lather going a while back. I'm just going to add a few drops of water. Remember one thing, whenever you're, hydrating your soaps, don't go overboard with the water. Always a few drops at a time. It's something that you learn, through experience, but you always want to go with them very slowly. MacDuffs is not a soap that's going to create a very foamy lather. In fact, it almost looks like the lather is going to dissipate, but it forms a very thick and creamy lather. And if you look at it, well, that's what it looks like. It's absolutely fantastic in terms of its quality. So let's get started with the shave. Just wet the face a little bit. And I'm going to tell you a lot about how, well, MacDuffs really started off. But first, let's get down to lathering up. I said this earlier and I cannot say it enough. I absolutely love the fragrance on this soap. It reminds me of an uncle of mine who used to only, smoke. I don't encourage smoking, but he used to smoke rollers back in the days, and he'd really take his time to roll one cigarette and then smoke it. And every time he wore a cologne to go out, that's what the soap smells like, because it had tobacco mixed in with that kind of fragrance. And he was an absolutely top bloke. Totally love him and miss him. Passed away a couple of years back, but he was an absolute star. Learned all about my fragrances and perfumes from him. So I really owe it to him, because he used so many different fragrances. As a child, introduced me to Tabasco, and I think we are a fan of Tabasco. I never knew about it when I was a kid. Taught me how to use it in probably everything. It was just, so I really do have fond memories of him, and I'm sure that you have, fond memories of a relative who you've been close to, or who's really left you with a good many things, taught you a few things. So the soap also reminds me of him. That's really very, very interesting when, as I was lathering it up and I could feel it. Well, here's the thing, American vintage, if I'm not mistaken, did sell out as far as the shaving soap is concerned, but there's always hope that it'll be stocked again. The aftershave was still available, so if you can make haste, you might just be able to pick it up. So let's get started with the first pass itself. Just going to clean this up a bit. I think we're good to go with our first pass for the day. So let's go with the open comb. I think that's the right thing to do. Oh, this razor is very, very gentle. I wouldn't, if I was you, I wouldn't add any pressure, but it's fairly gentle. It doesn't, and efficient. Let me add that. There's a lot of times that whenever you say things like mild and super smooth, and then people are led to believe that the razor isn't good enough, or that it won't shave well. Or that you probably need too many passes. It's just a given sometimes, as far as most shavers are concerned. I used to be like that. I'd always believe that if it was mild, it would probably be low in efficiency. Well, let me put it this way to you. Titanium razors are so nimble and so light, like this razor is. You sometimes might get tempted to, put a bit of pressure. Don't. Absolutely don't. If you do that, you're always going to get yourself into a spot of trouble. It's one of the reasons I'm not the biggest fan of aluminum razors unless they have heft to them. And the Henson has a bit of heft. It feels, solid in the hand. So I'm still with the open comb side. So I was talking about MacDuffs a while back, and MacDuffs was started, by Sean Armitage and his wife, and they got onto the business, side of life. Started with, experimenting with home cooking, baking, gardening. Winemaking, brewing. And it went on to finally, end up with soap making. And after experimenting, trying out, different butters, formulas, putting them together, most artisans, when it comes to finding that formula that works for them, they put in a lot of elbow grease. Don't ever discount that. They really do a lot of hard work. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, so much of wastage, so much of disappointment, actually, before they actually get to a winning formula. And Sean Armitage, of course, launched the company then in 2017. And it's got a very interesting reason how the name of the company came about. I mean, it isn't called Armitage Soaps, is it? So the reason why that name came about, have you ever looked at any, MacDuff soaps? You'll see this lovely Scottish Terrier on Prairie Blooms, on Dr. Duff. Market Days, that's the one. It's got that lemony, nice fragrance to it. If you ever look at the cover of the Market Days soap, you'll see a Scottish Terrier with sunglasses on. Fantastic. So that Scottish Terrier, of course, belongs to Sean Armitage and his wife, and his name is MacDuff. So MacDuff Soaps was named after him. How cool is that? You've heard how Chris, named Katie's Bubbles after his daughter, and now Sean Armitage, of course, naming the soap after his Scottish Terrier. Don't forget that Dean Koontz, the writer, and my second favorite author in the world after Stephen King, Dean Koontz, of course, has. He and his wife have always had a golden retriever, my mum's favorite breed of dogs, and absolutely stunning. Probably some of the greatest dogs ever. They make such loyal friends and just become a part of the family without even realizing it, overnight. And a lot of Dean Koontz's books do feature a golden retriever. And he's even dedicated one or two books to his dogs, especially the one that passed away, if I'm not mistaken. Her name was Trixie? I could be wrong. Every time I go silent, it has to be the upper lip. It's one of the joys of using a titanium. Even if you lose your grip in the exact point where you got to hold the handle, doesn't matter. Just remember, no pressure. So that's the first pass done. Let's get down to the second pass, and we'll give you a quick review. Just talking about MacDuffs. Now, it doesn't leave a slickness like a lot of other soaps do, like probably maybe the Barrister and Man Omnibus base, or even the Zingari Seago base. But it's slick. It provides great glide, very good cushion, very good protection, and you don't always require soap to leave back too much of slickness. But I would say when you're using the soap, if you just wet your face a little bit, don't rinse off your face, because if you rinse off your face, you're going to feel like it's been moisturized by, those moisturizers that are water-based that get absorbed very quickly. But if you don't rinse off your face, you're still going to get a bit of that slickness, and that's something that I discovered while using, MacDuff soaps. But American Vintage, it's absolutely a soap that I keep going back to, and it's never really happened. Maybe when I was using probably Zingari Man number 1 the first time, and then the second time, and then the third time. And then, of course, the light blue, which was, again, Master Soap Creations collaboration with the Razor Company. Love that, too. Let's get down to the second pass. One thing I'm going to tell you about this razor, the Yaqi DC90, that open comb side, at 3 days growth, it shaves very, very close. If anyone's told you that it's super mild, and that don't believe them. It's a very, very efficient shaver, and I was actually quite surprised by it. It's also probably because I have a feather in there. You could tone it down a little bit, maybe get a washcloth, or even a Persona Comfort Coated. Let me tell you one thing about the Razorock BC Silvertip if you want to get this brush. It's different from the Plissoft. The Plissoft is less dense, so tends to splay a lot more. The fibers are very different. I'm a big fan of the Plissoft fibers, which is why the the Big Bruce remains one of my favorite ever brushes. But I love this brush because it's great for bowl lathering, and it's fairly gentle on the face. It's got a little bit of a backbone to it, actually quite a bit of a backbone, but not too much. So it's a fine balance between backbone and splay. I just love this lather. I just used actually about a teaspoon, and there's still so much left in there. You just look at the brush. I'm just going to give you yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? It's you don't really need too much soap. I get carried away sometimes, but I'm just saying that because it's real value, and you can stretch your soaps for the longest time, and it can be just save a lot of money. So maybe less than a teaspoon, a little bit less than a teaspoon of the MacDuff soap. Let's get down to the second pass, and this time I'm going to be going with the closed comb. I almost forgot that I was going to go across the grain. And I was trying to figure out why isn't it cutting, because you just cut everything with the grain earlier. Happens to the best of us, doesn't it? So with the grain, that open comb took off everything that it could. I'm just going now across the grain to clear up anything else. It's not a very loud razor. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So it's not a very loud razor. You can you can hear it. It's almost like it whispers when it's cutting. I was just talking to a friend the other day who said, he cannot use razors that don't sing. The ones that have no audio or no feedback. They don't. He said something funny to me. He said, they don't talk to me. I don't know whether your razor talks to you, but I've known razors to bite, but not really to whisper to me. This one does. I've always said this: when you have a great soap, then you have a nice brush, and you have a good bowl, and you have a good razor. Every shave is such a joy, isn't it? So, right, let's go against the grain. I don't know if it's just me, but I actually felt the open comb was a bit gentler. You know that thing of your mileage may vary. Sounds cliche, doesn't it? But I actually felt the open comb was a lot easier. When you get the angle on the closed comb side, it just feels like it's a tad bit sharper. I don't know, for some reason. This is a very good razor. It's an exceptional razor. I really mean it. I really have a razor that is, mild and really that efficient. Yeah, the Overlander was not bad. I do like that razor a lot. But this razor is absolutely value for money. And the soap, well, I do hope it comes back in stock so that you can pick it up. It was my regret that I didn't pick up more than one. Because there are some days, and every person differs, but there are some soaps and some products that you just want to get more of because you know that you're not going to get them again. And that's what happens with a lot of the razor company collaborations. In retrospect, I think, hey, I should have picked up another one or two. But probably talk to, Jason and the team and ask them if they can get, American Vintage back again. It's really one of the best that I've used. So very efficient razor. I can't believe this is my first shave with it, and the feather is just a match made in heaven, believe you me. Yeah, you should just get it with a feather, proper feather in, and it's fantastic. So that's the shave for today. Let me once again very quickly, before I clean up and put the aftershave on, introduce you to the razor and the soap. Yaqi DC90, titanium, a dual comb, stunning razor. Get yourself one of these if you can. Super light, super nimble, real quality, value for money. Very smooth. BBS, absolutely BBS. It's just fantastic. So I'm just going to do a quick cleanup before I can, I have a tendency to talk a lot. So, and then just going to get to the post shave. So that was the razor for today, the DC90. The soap was one of my absolute favorites. And as I said, it's a soap that I can't put down, and I've been using it a couple of times over. Stunning soap. American Vintage by a collaboration between the razor company and MacDuffs. If you go to the razor company, you'll see that there are a lot of other collaborations with other artisans, but there is a MacDuffs one that is there too, and that has the Scottish Terrier MacDuff on the cover, so go and find it. That's going to be your homework before that sells out as well. So American Vintage, once again, get this. Absolutely get this. The bowl, as I said, did introduce you to the brush earlier. The bowl was from my friend Anise, which is the Anise shaving bowl. And the aftershave for today will be Nivea Men Deep Comforting Vanilla and Bourbon. I can actually feel the sting here, and without even alum. I can really, and that's how close the razor got. It's really BBS. Absolutely BBS. But, I didn't realize how close it got. The Ellsworth Apex, remember I said it was deceptively smooth? This is another one of those. Love the razor, love the shave, and thank you so much for joining me and for listening to all my gibberish as always. I'll catch you again with another shave real soon. Till then, of course, you stay well, take care of yourself and your family. Time for me, GMAC, to shut shop and ship out of here, and on behalf of the razor company to say bye-bye for now.